1stPUC Biology Annual Paper. Part A. Select the correct alternative from the choices given below. All the members of kingdom Protista are option A. Single-celled prokaryotes, option B. Single-celled eukaryotes, option C. Multicellular eukaryotes, option D. Multicellular prokaryotes. The right option is single-celled eukaryotes. Question 2. Male and female gametophytes do not have independent free-living existence in option A. Bryophytes, option B. Pteridophytes, option C. Gymnosperms, option D. All of the above. The right answer is option C. Gymnosperms. Cellular level of organization is seen in option A. Porifera, option B. Coelenterata, option C. Annelida, option D. Mollusca. The right option is option A. Porifera. In mango, the middle fleshy edible part of the fruit is epicarp or endocarp or mesocarp or exocarp. The right option is option C. Mesocarp. A large number of scattered vascular bundles are seen in monocot or dicot stem or monocot stem. The right option is monocot stem, option D. Ribosomes of eukaryotes are option A 80S, option B 70S, option C 50S or option D 30S. The right answer is option A 80S. Which structure of the starch molecule forms blue color with I2? Option A helical, option B branched, option C linear, option D spherical. The right option is option A helical. The period of cycle during which synthesis or replication of DNA takes place is M phase or S phase or G1 phase or G2 phase. The right option is option B S phase. High productivity and better yields in C4 plants compared to C3 plants is due to lack of rubisco, lack of Calvin cycle, or lack of photorespiration, or lack of chlorophyll A. The right option is option C, lack of photorespiration. If fatty acids were to be respired, they would be first degraded to pyruvic acid or PGAL or glucose or acetyl. Option D, acetyl coenzyme A. A thin elastic cartilaginous flap that covers the glottis during swallowing is option A tongue, option B cardiac sphincter, option C larynx, option D epiglottis. So the right answer is option D epiglottis. Heart is protected by a double-walled membranous bag called pleural membrane or pericardium or renal capsule or meninges. The right answer is option B pericardium. Which of the following is a mismatched pair? Option A amniotic bony fishes, option B urotelic mammals, option C aminotelic snails or uricotelic reptiles. The right answer is option C aminotelic snails. Which of the following is not true regarding hormones? Non-nutrient chemicals, option B produced in large amounts, option C act as intercellular messengers or produced in trace amounts. The right answer is option B produced in large amounts. The releasing hormone produced by hypothalamus is option A GnRH, option B somatostatin, option C FSH, option D prolactin. The right answer is option A GnRH. Fill in the blanks by choosing the appropriate word or words from those given below. Summer sleep, insulin, plumule, radical, interkinases, ethylene. The direct elongation of dash leads to the formation of primary root. It is radical. Frogs take shelter in deep burrows to get protection from extreme heat in summer is called summer sleep. Dash is the stage between meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Interkinases. A simple gaseous plant growth regulator is ethylene. The beta cells of pancreas secrete insulin. Part B. Answer any 5 of the following questions in 3 to 5 sentences wherever applicable. 2 marks question Part B. 21st. Name the family to which the following belong. Datura solanaceae. Phyllis belongs to the family Felidae. Mention the parts of excretory system of frog. Pair of kidneys, ureter, rectum and cloaca. Write the key features of mitotic metaphase. The answer is chromosomes are all aligned on the equatorial line, formation of metaphasic plate, centromere touches equilateral line and their arms facing respective poles. The spindle fibers are attached to kinetochore. Define differentiation. Differentiation is the process in which the cells in meristems, root apical and shoot apical and cambium differentiate and mature to perform specific functions. Dedifferentiation. The differentiated cells can divide and produce cells that again lose the capacity to divide but mature to perform specific functions. It is called redifferentiation or dedifferentiation. 25th question. Write the difference between micromolecules and macromolecules. Micromolecules. Molecules which have molecular weights less than 1000 Dalton. Macromolecules. Biomolecules with molecular weights in the range of 1000 Daltons and above. 26th question. Write the partial pressures of oxygen in carbon dioxide and alveoli and deoxygenated blood. The answer is PO2 in alveoli and deoxygenated blood 104 and 40. PCO2 in alveoli and deoxygenated blood 40 and 45. Name the bones of the hand. The bones of the hand are humerus, radius and ulna, carpals, metacarpals and phalanges. What is synapses? Mention its types. Nerve impulse is transmitted from one neuron to another through junctions called synapse. The different types are chemical synapse and electrical synapse. Part C. 3 mark questions. Differentiate between green algae, Chlorophyceae and red algae, Rhodophyceae. Green algae. Pigments like chlorophyll A and B is present. In red algae, pigments like A, D, phycoerythrin are present. Green algae stored starch as food material. Examples Pyrogyra, Chlamydomonas, Chlorella, etc. Red algae stored fluoridine starch as food material. Porphyra, Polysiphonia, Glidium and Gracilaria. Write the salient features of aves. Presence of feathers and beak. Forelimbs are modified into wings. Skin is dry without glands except the oil gland at the base of the tail. Hind limbs have scales and are modified for walking, swimming or collapsing tree branches. Tympanum represents ear. 4-chambered heart. Homeotherms, digestive tract with additional chambers and crop and gizzard. Double respiration, air sacs connected to lungs. Fertilization is internal, oviparous, development is direct. Explain the 3 types of placentation. Marginal. Here the placenta forms a ridge along the ventral suture of the ovary and the ovules are born on this ridge forming 2 rows. Example P. Axile. Here the placenta is axile and the ovules are attached to it in a multi-ocular ovary. Example China rose, tomato, lemon. Parietal. Here the ovules develop on the inner wall of the ovary or on peripheral part. Ovary is one-chambered, but it becomes two-chambered due to the formation of the false septum. Example, mustard and argemone. Basal. Here, placenta develops at the base of the ovary and a single ovule is attached to it. Example, sunflower marigold. Free central. Here, ovules are born on central axis and septa is absent. Dianthus. So the diagram you can see marginal axil, parietal, free central and the basal. Next question. Compare the anatomy of dicot and monocot root. Dicot root. Cortex is comparatively narrow. Monocot root. Cortex is very wide. Dicot root. Endodermis is less thickened. Casparian stripes are more prominent. Monocot root. Endodermal cells are highly thickened. Casparian strips are visible only in young roots. Dicot root. The xylem and phloem bundles varies from 2 to 5. Monocot root. Xylem and phloem are more than 6. Polyarch. Dicot root. Pith is absent or very small. Monocot root. Well developed pith is present. Dicot root. Secondary growth takes place with the help of vascular cambium and cork cambium. Monocot root. Secondary growth is absent. Mention the types of cofactors. The first one is prosthetic group. Second one coenzymes. Third is the metal ions. Describe the following. Synapses. Pairing of homologous chromosomes. Bivalent. The complex formed by a pair of synapsed homologous chromosomes is called a bivalent. Schismata. The recombined homologous chromosomes of the bivalents separate from each other except at the sites of crossovers. These X-shaped structures are called chiasmata. Name the parts involved in regulation of respiration. Medulla oblongata, pons, aortic arch, carotid artery. Draw the diagram showing sagittal section of human brain and label its parts of forebrain. So you can see the diagram. You can refer the textbook also. Next, part D, section 1, 5-mark questions. The characteristic features of mosses. Mosses. The prominent stage of the life cycle of moss is the gametophyte. It consists of two stages. Protonema stage, the first stage which develops directly from a spore. It is a creeping, green branched and frequently filamentous stage. Leafy stage. The second stage which develops from the secondary protonema as a lateral bud. They consist of upright, slender axis bearing spirally arranged leaves. They are attached to soil through multicellular and branched rhizoids. This stage bears the sex organs. Vegetative reproduction by fragmentation and budding in the secondary protonema. Sexual reproduction. The antheridia and archegonia are produced at the apex of leafy shoots. After fertilization, zygote develops into a sporophyte consisting of a foot, sethe and capsule. The sporophyte in mosses is more elaborate than that in liverworts. The capsule contains spores. Spores are formed after meiosis. Mosses have an elaborate mechanism of spore dispersal. Funaria, poly, trichum and sphagnum. Write the uses of sphagnum. Species of sphagnum, a moss, provide peat and it is used as fuel. It has water holding capacity so that used as packing material for transshipment of living material. They have great ecological importance because of their important role in plant succession on bare rocks or soil. Mention the phylum in which following structures are seen. Parapodia, Annelida, comb plates, Cinetopora, flame cells, Platyhelminthes, Malpighian tubules, Arthropoda, Radula, in mollusca. Draw the plant cell. So you can refer your textbook or your notes, you'll be having it over there. What is fermentation? Name the enzymes involved in the formation of ethanol and lactic acid. Give an example of cells that produce ethanol and lactic acid. Fermentation, it is the incomplete oxidation of glucose under anaerobic condition. Ethanol, alcohol, dehydrogenase lactic acid, lactate dehydrogenase. Lactate dehydrogenase. C. Give the example of cells that produce ethanol and lactic acid. Alcohol, yeast, lactic acid, muscle cell. Explain the physiological effects of auxins. Functions of auxins. They help to initiate rooting in stem cutting, an application widely used for plant propagation. Promote flowering. Example in pineapples. To prevent fruit and leaf drop at early stages. Promote the abscission of older matured leaves and fruits. Induce parthenocarpy. Example in tomatoes. They are widely used as herbicides. 2,4-D widely used to kill dicotyledonous weeds. Does not affect mature monocotyledonous plants. It is used to prepare weed-free lawns by gardeners. Control xylem differentiation and helps in cell division. In higher plants, the growing apical bud inhibits the growth of the lateral axillary buds. It is known as apical dominance. Removal of shoot tips, decapitation, results in the growth of lateral buds. It is widely applied in tea plantation, hedge making. Sketch and label human excretory system. So you can refer your textbook. Describe the structure of myofibril. So you have to draw it with all the zones and sarcomere. Each muscle fiber contains myofilaments or myofibrils. Each myofibril has alternate dark, anisotropic or A band and light striations isotropic or I band. This is due to the presence of two fibrous contractile proteins, thin actin filament and thick myosin filament. I bands contain actin, A bands contain actin and myosin. They are arranged parallel to each other. A band bears a lighter middle region H band formed of only myosin. A thin dark line M line runs through the center of H zone. I band is bisected by a dense dark band called Z line. Region between two lines is called sarcomere. They are the structural and functional units of a muscle. Write a short note on functions of any 5 hormones and anterior pituitary adenohypophysis. Anterior pituitary pars didastalis. It produces growth hormone GH or somatotrophin for body growth. Oversecretion of GH causes gigantism, abnormal growth. Hyposecretion of growth hormone causes dwarfism, stunted growth. Prolactin PRL regulates growth of muscles and formation of milk in them. Thyroid stimulating hormone TSH stimulates secretion of thyroid hormones from thyroid gland. Adenocorticotrophin hormone ACTH stimulates the synthesis and secretion of steroid hormones. Glucocorticoids from the adrenal cortex. Luteinizing hormone LH stimulates gonadal activity. In males, it stimulates synthesis and secretion of androgens from testes. In females, it induces ovulation from Graafian follicles and maintains the corpus luteum. Follicle stimulating hormone FSH stimulates gonadal activity in males. FSH and androgens regulate spermatogenesis. In females, FSH stimulate the growth and development of the ovarian follicles. Pars intermedia. In human, it is most merged with pars didastalis. It produces melanocyte stimulating hormone MSH. It acts on melanocytes to regulate skin pigmentation. Section 2. What is centromere? The position of centromere is not same in all chromosomes and it forms the basis of classification of chromosomes. Explain the types of chromosomes on this. Centromere. The two chromatids are held together at a point called centromere. Based on the position of the centromere, chromosomes are four types. Metacentric chromosomes. It has middle centromere forming two equal arms of the chromosome. Submetacentric chromosome. It has centromere nearer to one end of the chromosome resulting into one acrocentric chromosome. Centromere is situated close to its end forming one extremely short and one very long arm. Telocentric chromosome. It has a terminal centromere. So this diagram is very important. You have to draw it. The role of mesope cells and bundle sheath cells in C4 pathway of carbon dioxide fixation. The role of mesophyll cells. The primary fixation of CO2 takes place in the cell. It contains PEP-case enzymes. Oxaloacetic acid is formed in C4 cycle. The role of bundle sheath cell. The Calvin cycle takes place in this cell. It contains Rubisco enzyme. Name the heart disorders in human based on the following features. A. The deposits of calcium, fat, cholesterol, fibrous tissue make the lumen of the arteries narrower. Coronary artery disease, CAD or atherosclerosis. B. Chest pain. Acute chest pain when no enough oxygen is reaching the heart muscle. Angina pectoris. C. Inability of the heart to pump blood efficiently to meet body needs. Heart failure. Blood pressure above 140 by 90 mmHg after repeated checkup. The answer is hypertension. E. Sudden damage to heart muscle due to inadequate blood supply. Answer is heart attack.